I think you're leaning the one of them I said, right?
Jokic 60-point triple double is fifth. Jokic 60-point triple double is fifth.
I know it's hard saying that, but it might be, man. It might have to be fifth. He just had a better game than that.
Also, he lost.
Yeah.
Jokic lost. Okay, so now that we have the first ever 61-point triple double in the fifth place slot, what are we putting for? GMLB family, welcome back to another episode of Good Morning. Where's Kevin and Daniel? Truthfully, fellas, fans, we have no idea. Today's gonna be a Mike and my co-host Willie Erning Gomez episode. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff today. This is a really rough opening, but I'm just gonna roll with it. We thank you all for being here. Today we're gonna be talking about first the top performances of the NBA season as we look to close the season and enter the playoffs. We're still going to give maybe a week before we start talking about playoff predictions because we want to see how the seeding shakes out. And we don't want to sit here and predict how seeding is going to be when, a team loses and all of a sudden the entire seeding is different. So we're going to just put a pin in that. But before I keep yapping, Victor, how are we doing today? How are we doing?
I'm operating on like 4 hours of sleep right now, but I'm doing great. I'm ready to hear talk basketball. Still trying to find Kevin and Daniel though. Um, if you guys know where they are, let us know.
Knowing knowing Daniel's past of stealing GoFundMe money, I'm sure that he's having some legal problems as we speak. But let's Vic, you wanna get us into this first topic? It's been a while since you've kind of taken the lead on one of these topics. Why don't you go ahead and get us into this one?
Yeah, so month of March has been pretty good with NBA basketball. The Bulls are playing good, and then also there has been some crazy performances at the beginning of April. And usually March and April have been known as NBA players starting to rest, and you'll see some of the bench unit play more, and people get complain about the load management or whatever. But there has been some historic performances as of lately, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna go over them, and then at the end we're gonna rank them. So, I mean, we probably have to talk about the craziest one right now, which was Jokic's highest point triple double in an overtime loss to the T Wolves, where he had 61 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists on 62.1 from the field, 54.5% from the three, and that game was a spectacular, went into double overtime. What do you have to say for it, Miles?
First things first, they lost.
Yeah,
So that's gonna hurt on the rankings, and we'll
you
we'll
think?
get in. Yeah, that's gonna hurt on the rankings. They lost the game. I mean, dang, if they won, that might be GOAT debate level like stat line right there.
They,
But
they
like they
did you see how
didn't.
they lost?
I did see how they lost.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so I thought Westbrook got a little bit fouled on that fast break.
Whoa. Hold on.
I thought that was more
He
of a
did not
foul
he
than
did not get fouled, bro.
I thought that
He
was more of
did
a
not.
foul than what happened to Jaden McDaniels. That's what I was
Uh,
gonna say.
Bro, I don't think he got fouled on the layup. I will say Jaden McDaniels' foul, like Westbrook committing the foul on McDaniels' corner three. That wasn't the hardest foul. Okay, I'll give you that.
He
But
more of
Westbrook did
stepped in,
not get fouled on that
yeah.
layup.
He more of stepped into his landing space, and I think that's the reason why they called the foul.
You know what they call, what kind of foul call that is in today's NBA?
I don't know. Go ahead.
It's a flagrant. That's a flagrant foul if you do that. Therefore, with the severity of Westbrook's actions, it was a justified foul. Shout out Westbrook for absolutely selling that game. Adding to the legacy he's leaving. After having such a great season too, and on this night specifically, I'm so upset that he spoiled it. That sucks.
He did make up for the next game. He had a pretty good game. I can't remember what the exact stat line was, but he's
Was it
been
good
having such a
enough?
good, huh?
Was it good enough to justify what he did in Jokic's greatest, probably the best game of the season?
Dude, it was probably Nikola Jokic's best game, man. I mean, I don't think there's a debate for that.
You think this is his best game of all time? Didn't he have a 30-20-20 game this year too?
Dude, he might have.
He did. That's one
Oh,
we don't even have on the list. I'll go ahead
oh,
and add that as
yeah.
we're speaking. Of course, leave it to us to forget one of Jokic's greatest performances, like
Oh,
ever. Like not just him, but like everyone,
yeah.
any player ever.
Okay,
So
I just looked up the next game. I remember seeing this on Twitter. But anyways, Westbrook made up for it with having 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, but they lost to the Spurs. So I guess it doesn't count. So I tried saving you, Westbrook. I tried.
yeah. Okay. So in terms of this game, right? 61 points. That's the highest this season, right? There's two 60-point games. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? It's
him and
Jokic and
Fox.
Fox. And we'll get into Fox in a little bit because he is on this list. So you got 61 points. You're the highest scoring game this season, and it's a 61-point triple double. Um, I know that James Harden also had a 60-point triple double. Let me make sure. Let me fact check this here, see, because
He
there's
did.
another person. There's
I
another person on that list.
Yeah, Luca
Um,
did.
Luca. Yeah, it was Luca Doncic in 2022. So it was Luca with a 60-point triple double, James Harden with 60, and Jokic with 61. So he's currently the highest scoring triple double of all time.
I remember Lucas was crazy because he had a 60, 20, and 10 game.
I watched that game. That was
Yeah.
against the Knicks, wasn't it?
No, it was against the Hawks.
Oh, okay, maybe not
Oh no,
then.
no, that was against the Knicks. Sorry. His
Yeah, that
70
was the one
point.
where he got the offensive rebound.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and tipped it back in at the free throw line.
Yeah,
It
his
did.
Hawks game was the 70-point game.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it was 73-point game. Like, that's actually it's those 3 points matter, and that's
Yeah.
the thing, man. We're gonna get into it because we were talking a little bit before the pod. When we start talking about Fox, I'm gonna make my case for why that actually makes no sense. We'll get into that in a little bit. But okay, so shot 62% from the field, highly efficient, 55% from three. I don't know what he shot from three. I don't really care. The percentage doesn't really move me. It's more like what he's doing. But the fact that he lost, man, that's I think it's a big deal, bro. I really do think that that it's a big deal. Am I overreacting?
I think it's pretty impressive regardless. I do see where you're saying it does hold some weight that they lost, but dude, he put up the highest triple double with 60. That's pretty impressive in itself.
I'm not moved.
You're not moved.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm definitely moved, bro.
And I would understand if like he lost a game where he shot maybe a three to try to win and they lost, but it really wasn't his fault.
Yeah. Another thing I'll pitch in here is Jokic, when he was asked about Westbrook, was like, why? Like, are you upset about Westbrook ruining the game? It was why. It happened. It's basketball. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to foul. It happens.
Yeah.
So like I feel like if Anthony Edwards had a 61-point triple double and like Jada McDaniels smoked a layup,
Mhm.
much different reaction. Much different reaction. Luckily, Westbrook plays with like the chillest dude in the league. Honestly, the definition of chiller in the NBA. But yeah,
Yeah, dude. I feel like if Jokic was to get injured, I don't want to say that, but I feel like if he was and they interviewed him, he'd be like, "Oh, I'll just be back in like 2 months."
yeah, you're
Uh,
probably right about that. Okay. So that's Jokic's first game on the list. Uh let's move in. Let's move into to Steph Curry. Victor, why don't you take us through Stephen Curry here?
I'm actually so glad you said the talk about Steph Curry because the night or like that night it happened because they both happened on the same night, the 60-point triple double in Steph Curry's game. And I woke up to a ESPN notification and I saw Steph Curry's and I was like, oh wow, this was a really good game by Curry. And then I also saw Jokic's 60-point triple double and I was like, this is kind of better, you know? But we'll get into Steph Curry's. That was just a story I wanted to highlight. So Curry had a near triple double with 52 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals. He had 12 three-pointers made, shot 60% from the three-point line, 51.6% from the field. He passed Jerry West on the all-time scoring list, passed Kareem for 40-point games and LeBron for 50-point games, and it was a win against the Memphis Grizzlies.
I'm not moved. I'm not moved.
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from too.
No, I was lying.
Oh,
But hey, you said you agreed. Well, expand.
I the reason why I think it's a great game, but I just feel like there's another game that we haven't covered yet, and then Jokic is way a little bit more than this.
Okay, wait, we're not ranking them yet,
No, I know.
right? We're not ranking them yet. This is kind of our glaze session for each performance before we start ranking them. So from
Okay.
a Stephen Curry glaze perspective, what did you like about this game? What stood out the most to you?
I think what stood out to me was, dude, he was everywhere on the court. You know, he was playing defensively, he was playmaking, he was rebounding, he was shooting lights out from beyond the arc. I mean, this is the players we're talking about for these games. These are 2K numbers. Like this is stuff I'd be doing in my career. And it's just crazy, like the level of talent we've seen in the NBA as of recently and the performance that we've been able to see. It's just amazing as a basketball fan to see these.
And people still insist the league is falling off and the league's in
Dude,
trouble.
that,
Like, what
that's
a
what makes
joke.
me mad because I don't know if you've ever seen that meme of the Little Caesars. It's like Little Caesars is actually good when you don't have someone in your ear telling you it's not.
That's facts.
And
That's
that's how the
facts.
NBA is. The NBA is actually pretty good if you don't have someone in your ear telling you it's not.
That's actually I'm stealing that. Like outside of the pot, I'm stealing that. I'm definitely applying that. Um, but yeah, the biggest thing to me about this performance is the 12 three-pointers made. Like, I mean, what's the record? The record's 14, right? He was only
Yeah,
two away from the record. And
set by
also just by Clay, right?
yeah,
Against the
set by
Bulls.
Clay. Yeah,
Against your favorite team, right? Yeah, you're a Bulls
yeah.
fan? Yeah. Clay set the record against your team? Yeah, okay. No, I'm just playing. Um, but yeah, I think also like the implications past Jerry West on the all-time scoring list, past Kareem for 40-point games, LeBron for 50-point games.
Dude,
Just a Also, I think this is kind of an underrated aspect. He's 37 when this game happened. I think Michael Jordan is what, the oldest player with a 50-point game? He has one at 40.
no, it's
Yeah.
LeBron. I think it's LeBron.
Really? Did LeBron he must have passed him this season then. I'm pretty sure. It was Did LeBron have 50 this year? I think you're wrong. I'm gonna be honest. I think you're wrong. I think it's Jordan, but we don't have
I'm
to
gonna look
dwell
it
on
up.
that.
Wait, keep going.
Did LeBron have 50 this year? Are we tripping?
He either had it this year or last year.
Well, last year he was 39. He wasn't 40 last year, but I'll let you look that up. Anyway, I'll keep yapping here. They did
Oh,
beat Memphis. What?
it's Jamal Crawford.
Oh my gosh. For the Suns, right? Or was
Wait,
it for the
what?
Wolves? The Suns or the Wolves?
No, dude. Oh my gosh. We're. I can't believe I forgot about this. It was when Kobe played his last game against the Jazz.
Dude, you got to stop reading those AI answers. Kobe was 36 when he retired.
Wait,
Oldest
am I?
player with 50 points. It's MJ.
It's MJ?
It's MJ. It's MJ. I don't have to fact check it. It's MJ.
No, okay.
It
You're
might
right.
be Jamal Crawford.
No, it's Jamal Crawford. I was looking at the right one. So oldest player with 50 plus points, it's Jamal Crawford, but then it's Jordan with 51 at
Okay.
38,
Yeah.
Kobe at 37 with 60. I don't know if I said Jamal Crawford's age, but he was 39.
Okay. Okay.
LeBron had a 50-point game and a 56-point game at 37.
Okay. Hopefully everyone watching was following following that. We were kind of all over the place. Um, but yeah, so Curry just dropped 50 at 37. So where does that put him on the list?
What list?
The list you just listed off.
I just exited out, man.
Oh
I
man.
thought
Come on, man. How'd you not
oh,
know I was going there? How'd you
okay,
not know that's where I was
Steph Curry.
going?
Okay, Steph Curry's game was he's one, two, three, four. He's sixth on the list.
He's six on the list.
Yes.
How old was Kobe?
Kobe was 37 and 234 days old with 60. And Curry is 37 years old with 18 days.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So he's six on the list now in that aspect that doesn't really matter. So I'm glad we spent a lot of time on
Yeah,
that.
we went off the rails on that.
Yeah, we were all over the place. Where I was going for clarification, Jordan is the oldest player to drop 40 points. I thought it was 50. It was a 43 point game at 40 years old.
Okay.
So that was partially my fault as well, but um yeah, great podcasting, great preparation for this one. Thanks for sticking with us. Let's move
I
on to
mean,
the next
we didn't think we
performance.
were gonna talk about that though.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's move on to the next performance.
All right. So next performance we got Giannis is the first player in NBA history to have 30 plus points, 20 plus rebound or 20 plus assists and 15 plus rebounds. He had a it was a win against the 76ers, 126, 113. He had 35 points, 20 assists and 17 rebounds.
He's the first player for what? Can you say that again?
I believe it's 30 plus points, 15
Can't be
plus.
because Jokic has 31, 21, and 22 later in this list.
Hold on.
Bro, are you reading the Google AI response
No,
to
it's not,
this?
dude. I remember seeing this.
Well, Jokic dropped the 30, 20, 20 game before Giannis did. It must be 35 plus or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 35 plus then. If
Okay, so
Jokic had,
35 plus, 20 plus, 15 plus.
yes.
Yeah,
It
first
says
player.
right here at Yahoo Sports, Giannis becomes first player in NBA history to record 35 points, 20 assists,
Hmm.
and 15 rebounds.
Okay, so 35. That makes sense. All right. So, my opinion is we're chalking this up to like trade Dame, trade Damian Lillard. Is that
Yeah.
is that what we're gonna chalk this to?
I mean, I honestly think Giannis is probably going to be out once his contract's over.
Really?
I could see that happening.
Really? Um, why?
I think it was maybe the last time he was a free agent. What was that? 2019, right?
Yeah. I
Somewhere,
don't know. I actually don't
somewhere
know when that
around
was.
there. I remember there was talks of him leaving and going to a contender. And what they have done in Milwaukee during that new contract that Giannis has signed that he's currently on right now, I don't think they've built the best team around him. And they've tried adding Damian Lillard. They've tried trading for Kuzma, which I don't think was the best idea, but I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are putting Giannis in a great position for maximizing his potential and maximizing a championship, another championship.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but their roster isn't that bad.
They're old, man,
He's been on worse rosters. That's what they said in 2021 when they won the chip, by the way.
I think this team is probably older.
I mean, it is the same core besides Chris Middleton. I mean, you still got Portis, you still got Brook Lopez.
For sure.
Only difference is I mean, Drew Holiday was like getting up there even back then. I think he's 34 now. Don't quote me on that. He's around there, but um, yeah. My thing is like, what kind of value are you gonna get for like your core, right? Because first thing you want to do when you're trying to build is you want to trade a core piece with a lot of value if you can, like
Yeah.
core pieces that maybe aren't fitting well that'll fit great on other teams. But I don't know at this point in time what you get for Bobby Portis. You're definitely not going to get anything for Brook Lopez. You're like Pat Connaughton, nah. Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince actually has a lot of value. I do think, but then again, why would you trade Torian Prince? Torian Prince is probably one of the guys you want to keep. I don't know the way they put faith in Andre Jackson Jr. Man, you'd think you'd get at least Cooper Flag for him. You know, the way they play and talk about him. So truthfully, man, I don't have an answer for what the Bucks are going to do, and that's not the point here. The point here is he had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
so so 35, 20, and 17.
Yeah. No, this was impressive because for Giannis to be playmaking like that, it's pretty insane. For him to get 20 assists, what's his we got to look up what's his second highest assist game.
Uh, has he? Is that even his highest? Is that his highest assist?
It is. His second highest is 16 and he did that
Yeah,
in 2023.
um I was gonna say, man, just with no, he's had 20 assists.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
No, no,
Bro,
he
where
that's a game he had it. I was saying his second highest.
oh. You were
Yeah.
saying the second highest. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Um my thing is like with Giannis is an underrated passer. And I'm not just saying that because, oh, look, he has 20 assists here. And he's been averaging a ton of assists of late. But this is a guy who, for the past couple seasons, has almost averaged a triple double. Like, he's been up around the 10 assist mark for a couple seasons now. So, like, I really don't think 20, like, just seeing it on a stat sheet is insane. I'm not taking credit away from Giannis, but I think he's always had the ability to get something like this. The difference is now Dame isn't on the team, so he is literally the sole facilitator on the floor. And with the amount of gravity he has when Dame is not on the floor with him, it's literally Giannis versus five guys. I don't know if it's like that out of the ordinary for a guy who's already averaging 10 assists with Damian Lillard on the team to like do something like this.
I do see where you're coming from. Um, for him to get 20 assists with Dame out now, he does have to take on more of that like role of having the ball more and just distributing it to his team and attacking the basket more. So yeah, I do. I guess I do see where you're coming from.
Let me actually fact check his assist numbers because I might be completely off. Yeah, I'm completely off. I rescind everything I just said. Most assists he's averages 6. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
Giannis is sick. 20 assists is insane. Okay, let's move to the next stat line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean,
This is so off the rails. I'm tripping. I'm
oh
tripping.
good. So the next game we were gonna talk about was De'Aaron Fox's 60-point game this season. And it was he also had 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 60% from the three. 63% from the field, and a true shooting percentage of 75.3%.
Did you say how many points he had?
Yeah, 60.
Okay, I must have missed it.
And it was a loss to the T Wolves in OT. And this, I guess like everybody has their best games against the Timberwolves.
I I think now it's time to make my case known of what we were talking about before the pod. Now, I know my credibility is shot after I just said Giannis averaged 10 assists for 3 seasons, okay? Now let me make this statement, and I just want you to open your mind and consider it as a GMLB fan and out of sympathy for your host, okay? De'Aaron Fox dropping 60 is like Corey Brewer dropping 50.
Not even close.
It just does not make sense. I mess with Fox, man. I really do. But like, what does he know about 60-point games? Like, the difference between 50 and 60 is massive, right? That's like I was talking to Victor. I feel like I'm literally repeating this to you, Vic, but now we have an
Yeah.
audience this time. It's literally like 8 to 10 more shots. That's if you think about it, that's 8 to 10 more possessions that are you end with you shooting the ball. How many possessions you get in a game? It's usually like 95 to 100, I think.
I think it's a
I don't
little
know.
bit more. It's a little bit over 100.
Yeah, like somewhere around 100 possessions. Well, 10 more of them are now yours. And I mean, this isn't prime LeBron. This isn't prime Kevin Durant. This isn't prime Stephen Curry. This is De'Aaron Fox when DeMar DeRozan got hurt. Like, I get, I get you could score. Okay, it's also on a Timberwolves defense. What does everyone say about the Timberwolves? Oh, the Randall situation isn't working great, but their defense is always immaculate. We got
Yeah.
DiVincenzo, we got Ant, we got Rudy Gobert, we got Jaden McDaniels, we got all these crazy defenders, right? And
Rudy
De'Aaron
Gobert
Fox comes out
hasn't.
and drops 60 on you. That's pretty impressive. It is completely out of the ordinary.
Rudy Gobert hasn't been playing the best defense this season, though. He's actually having a down year. But I
Okay, what
do
is he in the league? Is he still top three?
for Depoy.
No, just in general as a defender, is he still top three to you?
Uh, I
If you
don't.
won Defensive Player of the Year last year, I think it's pretty hard to top that the next year. I think you're going to have a down year no matter what.
I I guess I'll put him top three. I'm not gonna try to think of that right now because that's not where we're not gonna get off the rails right now with that conversation. But what I was going with was okay. I don't think that this game was that big of a as crazy as you made it seem like comparing it to Corey Brewer because I don't think that's valid. We've seen De'Aaron Fox average upwards of 25 plus points for the past couple of seasons, and with the NBA right now, I don't think it's crazy for him to do that at all, man. I don't know.
60?
Okay,
There's
and
been
then
2 games this season with 60 points, and one of them is De'Aaron Fox. Shea doesn't even have 60. You're telling me that's not
but
crazy? That it's Fox?
it also went into OT though. That's extra possessions in that game. That could be another reason why Jokic had 60 because that game went into double OT. You know what I mean?
It's a valid point, but like it's still De'Aaron Fox dropping 60 points. Like it's still De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, but
Kevin Durant doesn't even have a 60-point game. And
but
this guy
why?
and he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. And we're saying De'Aaron Fox scoring 60 isn't crazy.
Well, when you put it like that,
Yeah, see, I'm gonna work around until I find a scenario that moves someone on this.
um, but you were saying the extra 8 to 10 possessions. It could be 4 to 5 if you hit all your shots.
Is De'Aaron Fox a guy who's gonna hit all of his shots though?
He had 75.3% true shooting.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess this game maybe he was. Only 63% from the field though.
Only 63% is pretty good for a guard.
I mean, Giannis had 63, Curry had 60, Jokic 54. I guess, yeah.
63% is really good for a guard.
All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, I think you saying 60% is really good for a guard also just kind of exemplifies like how insane this performance is. I
It
think that
was.
actually works for like the insane argument of like De'Aaron Fox shot 63% from the field.
Okay.
It's crazy, bro. This might be number one. And I know I just got done talking, Jokic shot a 61-point triple double. Ah, he lost. In this scenario, man, I don't care. De'Aaron Fox number one. I don't care they lost.
Damn.
We're going full bias on this one.
Are we
Full
talking
bias.
are we talking about that Jokic game too?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got it right here. Jokic. The second game. All right. This is the second time Jokic has made the list. Notice who isn't on the list, by the way. Victor's favorite player, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
He's
did
not my
not make
favorite
the
player.
list. Who is? Wait, who is your favorite player? Is it Curry
It's
still?
no, it's Luca.
Oh, okay. Valid.
Shea's in my top five favorite players, though.
Um, okay. And Beef Stew as well.
No,
Beef Stew bottom
he's
five.
bottom five.
All right, so we got Nikola Jokic, excuse me, 31 points, 21 rebounds, 22 assists. The first ever 30 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus game in NBA history. Vic, what's your immediate reaction to that stat line?
My immediate reaction is playing my career and trying to get your badges up. Is this you're putting on the quarters to like 12 minutes, and this is what you're trying to get. Trying to just grind your badges. That's what Jokic did, trying to get Hall of Fame everything. Because, dude, that's an insane game. I completely forgot he put that up this season. I'm glad you added it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's make this clear. So Shea is the leader for MVP, right? Why? We've talked about this on the pod before. Why is Shea the leader? There's two reasons. Do you know either of them, Vic?
Voter fatigue.
Okay, that's probably a third reason. I was gonna lean more. He's the one seed, and he's a really good scorer. Outside of that, I think Jokic pretty much beats him in everything else, besides like defense, I guess. But it's also a big versus a guard on defense, so it's kind
Yeah.
of not the same. But let's make this clear here. Jokic has no all-star teammates, no all defensive teammates, no all NBA teammates, no rookie of the year teammates, no teammates leading the NBA in any significant statistical category. And we're not going to give this guy the MVP. I mean, come
It,
on.
it's just crazy, I mean, for
This
dude,
is his
he's
best
been
season.
insane. He's been insane. I remember I saw a clip on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna just keep talking about SGA getting the MVP until Jokic puts up a ridiculous stat line. Like, I think it was before the 30-20-20 game. It might have been the day before that or whatever. He said like that stat line, and literally 5 days later, Jokic put up that stat line. So it just goes to show you how crazy good Jokic is. And every time NBA analysts and people and just in the NBA media or just fans in general think that like, okay, this is the peak of Jokic. We've seen everything from this guy, but he just continues to get better. And that's like the amazing thing about him. And he's slowly making a case for one of the greatest of all times. But we just have to see more champions or
I'm
championships.
I'm pretty sure he's already like in the race. I really do think it's like MJ, LeBron, Kareem, and him. I mean, that's pretty much the GOAT debate. I like to throw in Kobe, but that might be controversial for some. Let me throw stats at you instead. This is his 29th triple-double of the season. It was the seventh time this season that Jokic had 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in a game. That's tied for Oscar Robertson for the most in NBA history in one season. That's the 22 assists were the most assists ever for a center. Okay. Like, what are we doing here, man? I just, this is the MVP. This, honestly, this might be the best one on the list. This might be the best one on the list.
I That's what I think.
And well, the funny part is we almost didn't add it because we forgot. Oh man, leave it to GMLB, man. That's
uh,
crazy.
I
Take
mean,
Jokic
dude,
off the Nuggets.
he
Go
has
ahead.
so many good games. It's hard to keep track of them all.
Take Jokic off the Nuggets. Let's see what they do. Take Shea off the Thunder. Let's see what they do. Like, yo, I just I can't keep putting propaganda out there that Jokic is the MVP over Shea. Like, if you don't see it at this point, I don't know what else to say. It's literally the only reason Shea wins is voter fatigue at this point. That's the only reason.
Yeah, Jokic is the best player in the world, and SGA will just be the MVP. I think it will be really cool if somehow the Nuggets go to a finals and then Jokic wins and gets a finals MVP. That would be awesome. And
Oh, like
SGA
he did
gets,
the first time.
yeah, how he did the first time. And then that meme again will come out like with Embiid. I don't know if you remember when they were like Embiid grabbed the MVP and then Jokic just ran past him and grabbed the finals MVP and the Larry O'Brien.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a whole different ball game out here. It's a whole different ball game out here, man. So let's go ahead and rank. What is the fifth best game on this list? What is the worst game on this list?
Man, dude, that's tough. Um, what do you think? I want to know your thoughts because I have one.
I asked you first. I asked you first
Oh man.
because I didn't want to be the first one to say.
Okay, I'm in between. This might sound crazy. I'm in between the Jokic triple double with the 60 points and
Don't say it. Don't say
and
it.
Curry's.
Okay. I'm actually I'm oh my gosh. I can't putting any of these like in the fifth spot
It's
is just
torture.
it's crazy. What's throwing me is I think a lot of people would choose Curry, but what's keeping me from choosing Curry is he has 12 three-pointers made.
Yeah.
That is insane. And I know it's like, oh, it's Steph Curry. He gets like at least like 6 or 7 a game, it's like whatever, but 12 is a whole new ball game, bro. That's 36 points. That's 36 points just from threes. Like, do you know how like torturous that is for a defense if you have a guy at 12 threes? I'm going to say, oh my gosh, dude. See, the thing is like, we're like, okay, I'm just going to be transparent here. I was going to suggest Giannis going fifth. And then I was like, well, how am I going to put Giannis fifth when he's 3 assists away from what's probably going to be our first our first game on the list?
Yeah.
He was 3 assists from a 30-20-20 game. Okay. And then I'm like, I don't know if I could justify that. And then I was like, well, it's Giannis on the Bucks, right? And it's just him. So like he's gonna have an extremely high usage rate. So I'm like, okay, well, he's not really playing in the flow of the offense. He's kind of just like everything is going through him, because there's no Dame, and that's like the big thing. There's no Dame, and then also it's against the 76ers, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm putting him against Fox, and I'm like, Well, Fox is the same thing. Like he had Sabonis out there, but like it's really just him. It's a product of him having the ball in his hands the entire game. And he also lost. That's the other thing. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh man. Oh man.
It hurts, doesn't it? I think you're leaning the one of them I said, right?
Jokic 60-point triple double is fifth. Jokic 60-point triple double is fifth.
I know it's hard saying that, but it might be, man. It might have to be fifth. He just had a better game than that.
Also, he lost.
Yeah.
Jokic lost. Okay. So now that we have the first ever 61-point triple double in the fifth place slot, what are we putting forth?
Steph Curry's.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, 52 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists at 37 years old with 12 threes made. Imagine telling someone that in like the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
dude, they're like, huh? Like, dude, imagine telling someone like, hey, in the NBA today, this just happened. Like you go up to George Gervin, you're like, hey, bro, you're not gonna believe what Steph Curry just did.
Steph who?
He's like, oh yeah, for sure. Lou Alcindor, yeah. He's not Lou Alcindor though. All right. What's third?
Man, this is a tough one for me. I want to see what you say first because I can't. I
You know
don't
what
know.
it's not. You know what it's not. And I'm not talking
Is
about
it?
Jokic.
I wasn't gonna put Jokic third.
I know, but
Um,
there's another one that it's not him.
you think it's Giannis third?
It's Giannis, bro.
Yeah, it might have to be just because they played against the Sixers.
It's the Sixers.
Yeah,
There's no one really on the team to take the ball from him. Doesn't have to share the rock. The usage rate's extremely high. And 63% for Giannis is pretty good with that usage, but we have a guard on the list who also did it. All right.
number
So
two,
who's two?
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox 60-point game is number two on this list.
Dude, he just shot so good, man.
It's literally so out of the ordinary. Like, do you think the Timberwolves walked in that night and they're like, all right, De'Aaron Fox is going to give us 60? Like, that was not on the bingo card, bro. That was on no
No,
one's bingo card. Somewhere out in Sacramento, some casual light the beam enthusiast bet like De'Aaron Fox 50 plus points that night and probably made $20,000 on a
that
bet like that.
I was just about to say that. That's probably what happened, and then probably some random role player to get 20 plus points, De'Aaron Fox 50 plus, and then someone to get something else and just get 60,000 off of it.
Yeah, someone out there hit an incredible parlay that night. Well, we'll say that. All right, and then number one, the MVP. If you haven't already figured it out by process of elimination, it's Jokic, 31, 21, and 22. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
That is just a game you can't forget, but we forgot. So forgive us. But it's funny because I bet you after we record this, someone's probably gonna break Wilt's record, and then we're just gonna have to
Yeah.
remake this.
Um, I just want to do a quick top three blunders of just this topic so far on the pod. Number three, me saying Giannis averaged 10 assists for 3 seasons. Number one blunder. Number two, us trying to figure out who was the oldest player to score 50 points. That was a pretty unhinged blunder. Number three, forgetting about Jokic's 30, 20, and 20 game for top performances of the season. What a podcast this has been so far. Let's keep the momentum rolling. So that's our list. Just to recap, number five, Jokic's 61 point triple double.
Dude,
Number
that hurts.
four, Number four, Stephen Curry, 52 points. Number three, Giannis, 35, 20, and 17. Oh, wait, I think I went backwards. The second best performance of the season, De'Aaron Fox, 60 points. The first best performance, Jokic at 31, 21, and 22. Wow. I saw those stat lines and I saw like the Bleacher Report edits like again, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And then like just talking about them now and trying to rank them, like you just realize the magnitude of how absolutely absurd these performances are.
Yeah, like, dude, you only see this stuff in like 2K, and it's just it was so hard to rank those. Honestly, it was painful putting some of them lower. And I'm curious to see what you guys have down below. Like, what is your top five of those rankings? Like, do you think we hit the nail on those, or where should we have placed some of them?
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm glad we don't make pod reels anymore because if we made a podcast reel of this list, I am sure a lot of people would have something to say about it.
Yeah,
And that's the value in watching the GMLB episodes, fans. Make sure you tune in because you get to witness stuff like this. All right. Man, popping this Red Bull was not a good decision on my end. Let's move on. So, we talked about De'Aaron Fox. Okay. We talked about his 60-point game. What we didn't talk about was that Domantas Sabonis also had a 23-point triple double that game. I believe it was 23, 10, and 12. But let's uh let's take a minute to sit on Domantas Sabonis. Victor, I'll start with you here. Do you think that he'll leave?
the odds of him leaving are much more likely now, seeing where the Kings season has gone. They just have been playing horrible. They made trades that just didn't really make sense. It's like they're building the Bulls from the past couple seasons. They just need Vooch, and they'll have the Bulls.
You
I
stole
don't
my
know.
joke. Stole my joke.
I mean, everybody sees it, man. Everybody sees that they got Levine in, they got DeMar. They just need Vooch, and they'll complete the trifecta. And I don't blame Sabonis wanting out because one, Sacramento is a small market team, and he's been playing really good, man. He's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. I would consider. Just doesn't really get that respect from a lot of people for the numbers he be putting up. And I would like to see him go elsewhere and see what he can do for another team because I think he could add a lot of value to a contender.
What contender?
What contender? That's a good question because uh
Or can he be the piece that makes them a contender?
or yeah, that's a good idea too. Let me look at
Magic? Pop him on the Magic?
that. That would be pretty cool. I would like to see him on Magic, dude. Him, Paulo, Franz,
Detroit?
Troy.
Detroit's always
Ooh,
out there if you put him
Troy.
at small ball center instead of Duran.
You mean put
Now you
him
got to
at power forward
no, I mean put him at small ball center because now you have Sabonis with all shooters.
and Duran's gonna play the power forward? You're saying?
Duran doesn't start. No, Duran
No,
is out of the lineup.
I feel I feel like you could take Tobias on the bench and start Sabonis and Duran, and it might still work.
Duran. The thing with that is Duran has no outside game,
Hmm.
so it clogged the floor considering Sabonis operates in the high post.
Sure.
I'm saying you get Sabonis, you get Tobias, Tim Hardaway Jr., Ivy, and Cade. And when Ivy's not starting, you put Malik Beasley in the starting lineup. Now you have an entirely you have two high quality playmakers with three shooters on the floor. I don't know how much value you'd put in Cade splitting the ball with Sabonis because obviously you need the ball in your hands to make those plays. But um, is there another team in the NBA that has two extremely high quality playmakers? Is that a thing? Let me
Um,
go through the teams real
I
quick.
would say Trey Young
Who else though on that team?
on the Hawks.
Yeah, did you? I
Oh,
said
okay. I
who
see.
else
I
has
see what you're
two?
saying. Okay, okay. Uh,
Like, is there another team that has two extremely high quality playmakers? Um, I'm not really. One doesn't come to mind unless I'm just straight up missing one. I don't think I am. It was like Kyrie and Luca, but then obviously
yeah.
that's not a
Oh,
thing. Luca
LeBron
and
and Luca.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luca and LeBron. That works.
Would you consider maybe the
Draymond and
Celtics?
Curry. Uh, I don't think. I think they're all very solid, but no one's
Yeah,
averaging like no one's like ball dominant
for
playmaker.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh,
You could go like Curry and Draymond, I guess. But yeah, basically the point is I am not really seeing one, so that might be something that teams avoid. I truthfully am not in front offices to know if that's something that would not work. So I'm going to assume that having Cade Cunningham and Domantas Sabonis on the same team will work, especially if you have three shooters. So I just like, Duran's going to sit on the low block and be a lob threat. Like,
yeah.
pretty sure Sabonis can like do what Duran does and
I
have the
mean,
playmaking.
it would be if Sabonis could play that role. It would be kind of cool. I'm just thinking of like how Jokic plays, and then um, Aaron Gordon operating in the short corner. And if you put Duran in that, how that could work if you could get him lobs, but or if Cade's driving.
Well, the difference is that's Aaron Gordon versus Jalen Duran.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I was just living in a
those
dream
are
scenario.
very different players.
For sure, yeah.
um, but yeah, let's get into some stuff Sabonis has said. So Domantas Sabonis is expected to seek clarity. Those were the terms used about the Sacramento Kings plan this upcoming offseason. Fox was reportedly not alone in his feelings of wasting his best years on a team that was mirrored in mediocrity.
Damn.
So, the only thing Sabonis has said is he wants to seek clarity. Okay. So, what exactly does that mean? Let's dive into it a lot more than we should and take it completely out of context here. So, Domantas Sabonis says he wants to seek clarity, right? What does that mean? It means Domantas Sabonis sees a problem that he wants to clarify. What do you think that problem is on the Kings?
What direction they're heading? Are they
Expand.
are they heading towards a rebuild, or are they heading towards to try to contend? And I don't think that's really clear
I definitely
because they're
I
making trades, but the trades really to try to contend, but they're really not working. So now it's like, okay, are we going to start a rebuild here, or are we going to try to add another piece or two and see if this really works?
my thing is like it's always been the same thing with the Kings, right? Every year their roster looks so good on paper every single year. And then you get to playing and they suck, except for 2022. Okay. Like, you look at the roster at the start of this year, right? Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Keegan Murray, DeMar DeRozan. Like on paper, bro, the offensive firepower that lineup has, and the Kings are we've talked before on this podcast, the Kings are a team who rely on explosive offense and don't really play defense. That's what they were in 2022, their best season, right? So why switch things that worked? And you could argue like, yeah, it didn't work in the playoffs, but they did take the Warriors deep in that series. So my thing is like they decided to stick with what worked in 2022, and that's all offense. And again, it's failed. We saw the Mike Brown stuff. Doug Christie started off pretty hot. Now it's not going so well. So I would lean that they are not trying to rebuild.
Mhm.
You have DeMar DeRozan on your team. You just traded for Zach LaVine. You just got Valanciunas off the Wizards, who is still a quality center to come off the bench. You still have Monk. Keegan Murray's up and coming. You have Keon Ellis. That's like your rotation pretty much. You want to throw in like Anthony Carter and like other players, but I just, dude, when it comes to the Kings, like I'm not convinced that they'll ever be good. I I thought that it was a coaching thing with them because it's like how do you have all this talent and you're still not good? I kind of think it still is a coaching thing.
I don't know if it's necessarily a coaching thing, just because this whole season was kind of weird, to be honest with you, because everybody expected him to be a little bit better than last year. And there was just so much drama, I felt like, because with the Mike Brown stuff, then De'Aaron Fox was kind of a little bit, I'm trying to think of the word, maybe like shady towards it. I don't think
Yeah.
that's the right word.
No,
But
I
when he,
think that works. I think that's a good word.
yeah, but he was just like kind of shady on the situation after he got traded from the Spurs, and his comments towards Mike Brown. It was just kind of like there was more behind the scenes that we don't know, and we might never know what truly happened. But it just seems like the relationship between the Mike Brown, De'Aaron Fox, and Sabonis was lost, so they decided to fire him, and they hired the oh my gosh, the interim coach. Can't think of his name right now. I'm drawing a
Doug
blank.
Christie.
Doug Christie. And dude, they were playing good for like you said, like 10 games, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a Keon Ellis effect." And everybody thought that the Kings were back, and it just didn't go that way.
Sorry, I was lagging, but I heard what you said.
Mhm.
um, so they did just beat Cleveland. Did they beat Cleveland? I don't know if they actually beat them. They're playing them tonight, as of the time of recording this. I just looked on the Kings Reddit and it says light the beam in Cleveland, and then I clicked it and the game hadn't started yet, so
It's
I
it's a
jumped to
third
conclusions.
it's a third quarter right now.
Why would you post a picture of the pregame with the caption "Light the beam in Cleveland"? Of course, I'm gonna think you won before I saw the picture. Okay, anyway, not important. Um, this team just isn't it.
So,
This team isn't it. But what do? They're gonna be stuck in mediocrity forever, right?
yeah,
Sabonis should leave. Sabonis should leave. There's
he
no
should.
reason for
Yeah.
him to waste all of his years on this team. So I'm just going to go ahead and shift because we're not here to talk about the Kings. We're here to talk about Sabonis. So let's
So
find a
hold on.
situation where he actually works.
He he signed on his contract till he till 2028. He'll be an unrestricted free agent 2028, 2029.
Okay, he could still request out though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's gonna have to request a trade if what you said earlier, he's willing to seek. What was it again?
Clarity. Seek
Clarity. Yeah,
clarity.
seek clarity.
Truthfully, I think that means he's going to pretty much get down a direction, like he's going to force the franchise to decide what they're doing and give him a plan. And if they can't figure that out, then he'll leave. I'm pretty sure is what that
Yeah,
means.
And
Um,
they could get a lot for him in return too.
dude, he would look so good in a Celtics uniform, bro. He would look so good in a Celtics uniform. Him and Santi Aldama together, dude, come on. Celtics fan wish list.
Not happening.
Let's give the Kings Kristaps Porzingis and Peyton Pritchard and a pick. And we'll take Sabonis. We'll take Sabonis.
Not happening. I don't even think the Kings would make that trade. That's a horrible trade for the Kings.
How?
I just really don't see the potential in getting Porzingis. He's not really that healthy. And then
We get Pritchard.
Pritchard, I just don't really see him developing into being that type of guy on the team.
Bro, he's a starting point guard. He's a
Yeah, but
starting point
I
guard
don't
for
see him
90% of the NBA.
I don't really see him being like an all-star superstar level player.
He doesn't have to be.
You're getting rid of Sabonis and you're telling me Payne Pritchard is equal?
Hey man, those youngins got more value. Them youngins, you never know what they're gonna be. All right, all right. Let's switch the trade. You get Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, and Drew Holiday. What now?
I mean, it's a little bit better, but I still wouldn't take it.
Okay, what would you take?
From the
Give me a
Celtics?
scenario, not from the Celtics, just from any team. Give me a scenario of what you think Sabonis is worth. Contracts don't have to match. Just give me like some players and some picks.
See, I always like going for like younger guys.
Pause.
Um, no, I'm sorry. I hold on. Let me see.
Bro, what you researching?
No, I'm just looking up like the team so I can try to jog my memory. Um,
Are you looking at
I
Sabonis trade scenarios?
no, I'm not. I promise you. I think something that would be cool would maybe be like off the Heat. I think if you could get Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, probably Haywood Highsmith throw in and a pick. Start trying to rebuild that future.
So you see Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez being future superstars, but not Payne Pritchard.
Dude, you had Porzingis and Payne Pritchard.
I'm using what you
One
said. I'm using
one
what you
one
said.
of them is not going to be healthy for a full season, and then the other I don't really see developing that much more than what he's playing right now.
But Jaime Jaquez, because the language you used was, I don't see Peyton Pritchard being an all-star superstar level player.
Hmm.
So are Jaime Jaquez and Khalil Ware now those players in that deal you just gave me?
I think Ware has a lot of potential. Jaquez, I think, could be a good role player.
So a good role player.
Yes.
So the answer is no.
I'm banking on Ware's potential.
Okay. Um, I
Or
would not
maybe,
bank too hard if I were you.
yeah,
What about if we do Domantas Sabonis for what do they need? They're gonna need front court depth, right?
yeah.
Let's do Domantas Sabonis
Maybe
for
the Bulls could package him something good.
in front court depth.
Not front court depth, but they have a lot of
Who?
guards. They have a lot
Well,
of
they
guards that
don't need guards though.
they could get rid of. They
They have
can get,
Levine, Monk, and Ellis.
yeah.
The only guard better than them is Kobe White,
Hmm.
and maybe I would assume he's probably better than Keon Ellis, but like, is it that much better? I don't know. What if we do? Do we want to give him Julius Randle? Dude, I just like this exercise. I just like the exercise of trying to find a fit for such a weird player. Sabonis is kind of a weird player. What about the Bucks? Probably not. Probably not
Yeah,
with
probably.
Giannis. Cleveland is not going to trade for him. I already went over the Pistons. The Pistons was like my golden scenario. What if we do the Sixers? Maxi, Paul George, and Domantas Sabonis.
Maxi, Paul George, and who else?
And Sabonis, like as a core.
But who are the 76ers giving up?
No, don't think about that. Just think, would it work first before I start actually trying to create a trade?
I don't think it would work.
Okay, let's move on then. There's no point in creating the trade if we don't think it's gonna work.
I,
We could always go like Brooklyn, but Brooklyn again is like,
Brooklyn is
all
trying
right,
to rebuild.
you could put anyone on Brooklyn, so that's kind of
Yeah.
like the low hanging fruit because then you have to build the rest of the team, and I don't want to speculate on building the entire rest of the roster, you know, because it's like, oh, we got Sabonis, now we have to build the rest of it. No, I'm not trying to do that right now. Let's do like New Orleans. New Orleans. Maybe you trade Sabonis for Zion. Sabonis for Zion
I,
and something else, maybe a pick. Zion a pick for Sabonis. Now you have
do,
Sabonis, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray.
do you even think that the Pelicans would even off or like trade that? Because I don't think they would get rid of Zion
Dude, he
personally.
was on the trade block. They were searching for trades
No,
at the
I
deadline.
remember, but now I don't think they're gonna do that.
I mean,
They got rid of Brandon Ingram, and he hasn't played yet for the Raptors.
yeah,
But
that's true. But let's sit on it for a second. Would it work?
I think he would be in the same situation he would be in the Kings, personally.
Okay. Even with Trey Murphy and Herb Jones taking another step.
They would probably slightly be better. But the West is so competitive, man.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to factor in that they're in the West. Okay, so let's search for an East team. That's it. Okay, so we're only in the Eastern Conference. So let's see. We're gonna find the perfect situation for Domantas Sabonis before this podcast ends. All right, here we go. The Eastern Conference. So we dwelled on the Bulls. What about the Hawks? What about the Hawks?
They do
Domantas
need a center.
Sabonis,
They do need a center.
Trey Young, Onyeka Okongwu,
Jalen
Harris
Johnson.
LeVert, Jalen John. Oh, but that front court, man, too many. Onyeka, Jalen Johnson, and Sabonis.
Send Anekya to the Kings. Keep Jalen Johnson.
But then they don't have a true center because Capella's gonna leave too. So who's there? Like when Sabonis checks out, who's playing center?
They can put me out there.
uh, okay, we'll come back to that. So not we're not gonna do the Nets. We're not gonna do. I already tried the Celtics. The Celtics, it's just not gonna happen. The Bucks, we said no because of Giannis. The Heat, we said maybe. So let's go back to the Heat here. They're not gonna give up Bam. Bam's their guy,
Yeah.
unless they do give up Bam.
They're probably not. I
Okay,
don't
yeah, I'm in the same boat. Okay, so let's not sit on them giving up Bam. So you're gonna have Bam at the four, what he wants to play, and Sabonis. Okay.
below where you get I think he would be
Khalil
gone.
Ware's fit. His fit is just too good to me. His fit is just too good. Sab- Khalil Ware's a better fit than Sabonis is.
Hmm.
But then again, it is like not working right now. But I don't think Sabonis is the guy they need. I think they need like a point guard. So I think the fact that we're really struggling to find a situation where he works, I think Detroit is the answer, bro. Detroit is the answer. It's the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I did like that one. Why did we go away from that one?
because you wanted to start Jalen Duren with Sabonis.
I
Now,
mean,
what do
try
they
it
give
out.
up
Try it
though?
out.
What do they give up though?
The Pistons, probably they would give up Ron Holland. They would give up um
They'd probably have to give up Duren, realistically.
yeah, they would probably have to give up Duran.
Ron Holland, Duren.
Do you think Ivy survived? They would probably give up Tim Hardaway Jr., man. Honestly, with that package.
Would they though? I don't know if they would.
I think they would probably
Maybe
have to.
Fontecchio. They'd probably give up Fontecchio
Yeah.
just because, dude, Tim Hardaway Jr. is really good for them.
No, I understand that. I just think his contract's not that expensive.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. GMLB has elected to send Domantas Sabonis to the Detroit Pistons for Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, and Simone Fontecchio / Tim Hardaway Jr. So, if in the event Domantas Sabonis requests out and ends up in Detroit, Michigan, you heard it here first, folks. This was the exercise of the day to get the gears going. But, folks, that's going to end it for today's episode of Good Morning Let's Basketball. More like Good Morning, where's Kevin and Daniel? We have no idea. But yeah, we thank you all for being here. If you want to watch the podcast or any other episodes that we've released, we are on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube for the full episodes. If you want to watch clips and games we play and interact with the fans, you can go on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. So, as always, subscribe to the second channel, Good Morning Let's Basketball, where we post retrospectives and NBA documentaries. And email us at gmlbfans@gmail.com if you want to talk to us. We answer all emails on the show. I think I covered all my bases there. Remind me never to drink caffeine before the pot again. And we're out of here. Peace.